We are live.
We are. Oh my goodness. Did we advertise this at all?
It's on Twitter. It's on the Discord. I just told everyone on Discord.
Oh, okay. Well
We
then,
are
then
live.
then everyone in the world should know. I don't all
That's
rush in at
right.
once. Don't all rush in at once. Hold on. And you did the whole at everyone
I did.
dealio.
I did.
All right. Oh my goodness. How you
This
doing?
is flip-flops from what we usually do. It's
Yeah, what
late
do we
for
usually
you
do?
and early for me, whereas
I know.
it's
I know.
usually late-ish for me and midday for you.
Yep. And now I'm the one who's got to keep my voice down now.
Someday
Well,
we'll get this right.
No.
Someday I'll soundproof this. Maybe, assuming it'll work.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I should watch our stream sometime. Just a moment.
Nah. I'm sure it's fine. Those guys, I don't know. I don't know about them.
Oh, it's my channel. Oh, it's my channel. Who would watch this? Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross. All right. Turn the sound off. All right.
All right.
Let's see how many people. Although I will say, I will say, Schmigadoon season 2 is a little obscure.
A little bit.
So hopefully we can put it on the map. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, we should start I gotta do the official start. I forgot how this worked.
All
Here
right.
it goes.
Let's Smidja do this.
Dang it.
From the creators of the video game podcast Famicom Dojo
They still make that?
and the enthusiastic support of the Nerd and Tie Network
Yeah, do whatever you want.
comes a podcast about the single most important question in human history.
What is the meaning of life?
Will I ever find love?
Can God create a rock so big even Pumpkin Man cannot
How
lift
can
it?
I find fulfillment?
What happens after you
Does this look infected to
Is there
you?
such a thing as karma or fate?
What is true?
Have you guys seen my keys?
What should I be watching on TV?
Every episode of Two Boobs Watch the Tube, Vink and his best bra, Sean Orange, take a shallow dive into a current or retro TV show. Will they love
I
it?
guess.
Will they hate it?
No one-
Will they fight about it?
No one cares.
Did Sean even watch it?
No,
Is Vink still listening as Sean talks about Transformers?
definitely not.
These questions and more will be answered on
Two Boobs Watch the Tube.
I you know what? I still love that intro.
Do you know how much fun that was to put together? I mean, the whole thing was your idea, but actually the execution was it was so fun. We got
Every time
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just saying. Every time I listen to that, I'm like, I forget that we put the Pumpkin Man reference in. Maybe we should. But I was thinking, like, one of the original plans for that was that as the show went on, we would re-record and like allow different philosophical questions to be part of the intro. I think we should still do that. I think we should let users submit.
Oh.
I think that'd be fun. Well, we'll think.
That's a great.
We'll think about that later.
We'll ask them for that.
So here we go. I mean,
We're
this is definitely the sequel podcast that nobody asked for.
Yeah, it's also our first follow. We've done second seasons of things before, but in conjunction with the first season. This is our
You're
first
right.
full-on follow-up to one of our own episodes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not prepared.
You know what? Nor am I. Except that I do remember that, like, when we recorded the first episode, there was no guarantee that there was going to be a second season of this show. So when we ended, we speculated on what we thought a second season would be.
Yeah.
But first, perhaps we should talk about what it is we're talking about.
Oh, actually, before that, we should probably talk about what we watch, what we really, really watch. So, Vink, tell me what you watch, what you really, really watch.
I am about 3 or 4 episodes into Peter Capaldi's run as the Doctor.
Oh boy, you're ahead of me again.
And my middle daughter decided Peter Capaldi was not for her. I mean,
No.
she wasn't really watching Doctor Who much. I mean, if it was on, she would sit and watch it until the Matt Smith era, and then she's like, "Who's this guy?" I mean, I get it. Matt Smith's a very comical doctor. Amy Pond, Rory were fantastic companions. It makes sense, but I'm like, give this guy a chance. She's like, "Who's this old guy? I don't like it. I'm done."
But Clara likes him, so he's got to be good, right?
I guess, but I gotta say, like, I don't know if they ever really totally warmed up to Clara as a companion either, because
Oh, sure.
when you really like that Amy Pond Rory doctor dynamic so much, it's a definite change, and she's died a lot of times.
Yeah. It's hard to beat that power thruple.
Anyway, so but I don't know, and we are very nearing a very exciting point for me. We are nearing the point where I stopped watching Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's true.
I've got about I think
Oh.
I stopped watching it into the next season. So I watched it a few. I think the last ones I watched were like whatever came after the Mummy on the Orient Express or something
You
like that. I think.
never.
Yeah.
Not only did you not watch his third season, you never saw the end of the second.
Nope. Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh my, you haven't met Bill?
Nope.
You haven't
Nope.
seen the. Oh. Oh
Nope.
no.
You can't avoid spoilers on the internet, but technically, I don't know what happens to Clara either. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never. So she
Cool.
was the companion when I stopped watching. So
Oh man. Well, I'd say you're in for a treat. I. Hmm. Ah. There's a lot good in that third season. There is a lot. I think you'll enjoy it. I hope. I hope you will.
I think I will too. I've heard very very good things, and I like Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. I like the performance he gives, but it is a very different vibe. Now, for me, as a fan of classic Doctor Who, where the Doctor was always a grumpy old man of some sort,
Yes.
it's fine.
Return to form, you might say.
It's a return to form, where he's kind of mysterious and not letting his companions know everything, and definitely not making out with them all the time.
Yeah.
Capaldi reminds me a little of, I suppose, the Seventh Doctor in the way he's kind of mysterious and can be like funny, but also kind of grumpy, and I don't know.
So you also haven't seen The Husbands of River Song either.
No, I have not, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh no. Okay, good. Good. I just shared a screenshot. I don't know if it's on the Twitter or the Facebook
Yeah.
Boobs account. Yeah. Yes, please enjoy that because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I've
River
heard.
things of all time.
Like I dropped off because there was no legal way for me to watch it.
Oh,
Or
sure.
whatever, and I don't have time to pursue other means. You know what I mean? But now I've got my box sets, and because so sometime I'll show you my Capaldi box set. It's beautiful.
Oh,
It's
it
like
sounds awesome.
it's very very, because I'm like, I'm gonna collect them in the Blu-ray format, and I've got I'm collecting them faster than I can watch them, obviously, but. And then I got a whole Doctor I haven't seen, and I'm gonna try to get through as much as I can before the new episodes come out. I'd love to be caught up, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
Sure. Well, I mean, we haven't had a new series of Doctor Who since 2021, if you can believe that. It's been all specials since then.
Yep.
And then,
And from what I've heard, not all of them have been that special.
oh no, Jody, I am so sorry. The things that studio meddling and fan reaction and just.
I mean, I gotta say, like from what I've heard, and again, I haven't really watched any myself. Gonna go in fresh, but a good doctor with bad scripts. So
We'll see. I would like to know what you think personally
Yeah.
versus what the internet wisdom at large says, because
the internet is as a collective is usually wrong. So,
yeah,
but
that's
we'll
my
see.
experience in this case.
We'll see. We'll see. But I've heard spoilers, and the whole timeless children thing does not, as a classic Doctor Who fan, does not sit well with me. But I want to see how they do it, because maybe it's done a little better than the screaming reactions to it are. So let's see. Let's
Maybe.
try.
See.
Let's
see. It's fine.
Oh, hey, Mark's here. Hey, Mark. Mark,
Let me get
you survived your hornet attack. Oh yeah, you weren't in the stream. Mark was like
No.
watching the stream while doing yard work and was attacked by a bunch of hornets.
Oh my, that makes for an interesting morning.
Yeah.
Oh, good. No, I was helping my parents move, so I was not able to attend.
Anyway, tell me
Yeah.
what you watch. What you really watch.
Well, it would be Doctor Who, except I don't know if you heard, but HBO Max went away, and now there's Max, the place where you watch HBO.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Wasn't HBO's like main competitor like Cinemax, which they shortened to Max?
Is Cinemax even still around? I haven't
No,
heard
I don't think.
Cinemax in years.
I don't think it is. But like, it was a rival network. I think. Why would you
Yeah.
go with the?
Because Discovery and Warner merged, and now all of Discovery's garbage reality TV programming is part of the HBO package. And then rather than just keep their app, they created a new one called Max, and everything moved over. You had to download a whole new app. And everything's still there allegedly, but I tried to resume watching Doctor Who, which still isn't on Disney yet. It'll be there any day now, I think.
Yep.
But
Oh, will it?
I tried resuming. Yeah, there's a whole streaming deal now with them.
I know, but I think it's only for. I thought it's only for the new stuff. It's going to be the classic stuff too. I think it's only the new stuff.
Don't know. Well, anyway, I can't resume. Like I get an error every time. I haven't tried since the app first launched, but I'm unable to continue my Matt Smith run for the moment. I have other ways, but it's very frustrating. But the whole experience reminds me that another thing I wish I had been watching or could watch again is Willow, but you can't because Disney is cutting a lot of shows out of Disney Plus and Hulu to save money, and this is all happening in the background of the Writers Guild of America strike, because they aren't getting paid residuals. And I just found out that one of the reasons that Max exists is because technically HBO Max was a cable streaming service which had all the cable residuals in place, and Max is just streaming, which has none of that. So HBO has been slowly, quietly kneecapping their writers this whole time. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, we'll get into more of that but you know what, it's going to be connected, and it's going to be part of everything we say now, because since we're watching a lot of new television and a lot of classic television, some of the stuff we talk about in these episodes might not exist by the time you listen to them. So it's a very weird time for media preservation right now, because for a long time, something goes off a streaming service, that's okay. You can buy the DVD or something. But when things were streaming exclusive, they just don't exist in any legal means anymore.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I was upset when they took Doctor Who off Netflix, so I couldn't watch it anymore. That's why I stopped. Why I stopped.
Yeah.
And but you know what? Now I've got my Blu-rays, and it's like, come and get them. I'm going to watch Doctor Who. But like, it shouldn't have to be like this. The whole point of streaming was that everything was available at your fingertips. It's just ridiculous.
I have in the meantime been I think I rewatched all of Strange New Worlds, the one of the more recent Star Trek shows.
Oh, okay.
And because I wanted to show it to my kids, because out of all the
Yeah.
new ones besides Prodigy
Yeah.
that exist, I can't show them any. And I can only show them some of Strange New Worlds. So we watched the first episode, and even that was kind of like, maybe not old enough yet. But I just remember the people talking about what Star Trek meant to them as kids. I should probably just go with the classic stuff at this point, because it's just the new stuff isn't for them. But
Next Generation, do Next Generation.
Yeah, because I can't show them
Although-
Picard.
Although, what's with Picard?
Lots of F-bombs.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's really.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I guess I just imagine him just picking apples in a forest, but I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Imagine an 80-year-old man dropping an F-bomb in the most unnatural way possible, and that's Star Trek Picard for you.
Mwah. Wonderful. Sounds great.
Excellent.
Um,
So, but
I watched the first episode of Orville.
Oh, the first ever
Orville?
episode. Okay, yeah. I dropped off after the second season. They hadn't renewed for 3 yet, so.
Okay.
where I'm
Well,
at.
it sounds like this. It's a comedy, right? Like
It starts as a Star Trek spoof, but quickly becomes the thing it mocks.
Okay, I first found it because I was scrolling through I don't know, YouTube Shorts or whatever, and there was this clip of a show, and I'm like, this has got to be Star Trek,
Oh,
because it's totally Next Generation, but I'm like, but I
Yes.
don't recognize these characters. But as you know, I'm not a huge Star Trek person. I'm like, maybe it's like Deep Space Nine, but no, they couldn't. And I'm looking and I have to read the comments, and they're like Orville, and I look it up, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, oh, it's on Disney Plus. I hear it gets really good in the second series.
yeah. Little background on that show.
Yep.
So it was airing, I think on Hulu initially.
Yeah.
But now
Yep.
Disney
Yep.
owns it. It was airing at the same time as Discovery.
Okay.
And Discovery is very much the Kurtzman new Trek, like
Sure.
J.J. Abrams Kelvinverse style stuff, serialized storytelling and whatnot. And then this show comes out, and all these Trek fans are like, I want this. And so it took until Strange New Worlds to get something like that. But that definitely, I think, pushed the current Star Trek creatives into that direction.
Huh.
So we'll see.
Yeah, but anyway, I might watch a little more. It's really slow going at first, at least.
It is. It is.
So like, and I was expecting more of like ha farce, like Red Dwarf or something like that, but it actually takes it a little bit too seriously. Like
Mayhap.
it's like the music is all cinematic, and the special effects are really good, and like nothing's too off the wall. You'd expect more from the guy who made Family Guy, you know what I mean? But like,
Right.
but I don't know. But in a way, it's still kind of endearing. Apple TV is still a thing. Apple TV is definitely still a thing. They're one of the they've got a hit with a Ted Lasso, which I want to talk about later sometime.
Yeah. Apple TV is also still one of the more affordable options. Like they went
Yep.
up in price a little bit, but I'm still paying
Yep.
less than $7 a month for that. Unlike, say, Max, which I can't even call HBO anymore.
I will say that like Apple TV is the one I go to for premium shows right now. I think they've got some of the best content of the new, because like, and they give it a chance. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
take C. It didn't do very well on the ratings, but they gave it 3 full seasons so that they could
Sure
finish
did.
it off. And
They did.
and like no one expected Schmigadoon to come back, which is what we're
right.
talking about. today.
Yes. And since we've not done this before, I feel like we got to do a Schmigadoon recap of the first season. Just a little quick one, because what if no one watched our previous episode or the
Hold on.
previous season? Yes.
Hold on, I want to address something in the comments. Peter B says affordable. It's behind a $700 paywall to sign up. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, you can just. I don't think so. I mean,
I didn't pay any.
You get it initially for free with Apple devices, but after a year, but yeah, you can just sign up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway, and the Apple device, you don't have to buy an Apple device. It'll work on Windows.
Yeah, it works on anything.
I've
watched it on the browser before.
It works on my smart TV. My smart TV is a Panasonic. Yeah.
Is he referring to needing an Apple TV device? Because you don't.
Yeah, but even if you do, an Apple TV device is $100. So I'm not
right.
Yeah.
I don't. They never had it, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
It'll work on a PlayStation 4. It'll work on, and it'll work on. I'm not sure if it'll work on an Android phone, but it'll work in any browser. So.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We opened this show with C, which as you mentioned was an Apple TV Plus show. So it was my first introduction to the service, and it's only gotten better since. So
yeah. I like it. And I have a lot of friends who have zero Apple devices, but they appreciate. I mean, it was Ted Lasso that was the hook, but they stuck with it after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a reasonable service. I would say that for anybody, if you want to watch any of the programs we're talking about, Apple TV definitely doesn't have the kind of content that Netflix does, but give it a try for a month. There's a lot of pretty good stuff on there. You did it for a while, then unsubscribed for a while, right?
I never actually got rid of Apple TV. Well, maybe I did, and maybe I got it again when I got my new iPhone. That seems possible.
I cut it off for a little while because I'd seen what I wanted to see, but they really threw a lot more content on, and now and there's randomly baseball and soccer on there too.
Yeah,
soccer makes sense.
So what was the first season?
Okay, Schmigadoon. First season was great for me because I grew up with musical theater. My parents both liked watching musicals on home video, and I acted in some in high school. I was in a production of Fiddler on the Roof. I was in a production of Guys and Dolls, and I was stage crew for a lot of other things that we did. Into the Woods and Joseph the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. But Schmigadoon is basically what if there was a town that magically appears where everything is a musical. It's named after, of course, Brigadoon, which was a really nice, a fun musical about a magical town that appears once every 100 years or something. I don't remember exactly. I watched it a long time ago. But they go there and everything follows the rules of musicals, basically. So, sorry, I should point out the rules of 40s and 50s musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 60s, maybe a little bit. but they solve their problem and they walk across the bridge together, which the bridge leading out of town, which they tried to walk across times before, but nothing happened because they hadn't solved the issue at the heart of the drama.
They haven't found true love.
They haven't found true love. Yes. They is this couple who gets stuck in here. They are a married couple, but they are facing.
Oh, they weren't married. They weren't married yet.
Oh, they weren't married in the first season.
Spoilers.
Oh.
They were just dating. They were just doctors that dated. They had a meet cute with candy bars.
Yes, they did, which they would refer to back. But I mean, the thing I remember most is that the songs in it, which were often comedic, were really, really well done and really kind of fit. Corn pudding. but which was nominated for an Emmy. Did you know that? That's
I did
crazy.
not. Oh no.
I didn't know either of all the songs, but anyway. So it finished, and you should listen if you want to hear more about it. Listen to that podcast because we went on for a while, and we both really liked it. But it was a 6-episode little thing, and it was not listed as a season 1 when they put it out. It was a mini series. It was put out with the thought that it was, but it ends very ambiguously. It ends with like, you don't find out exactly if they go back to their normal lives or whatever, but so it's kind of up to the audience to assume. But I remember, but it left it open enough for a sequel, and we speculated that a sequel could be either that they don't leave and they have to stay and do this whole thing over again, or that they're able to leave and that the inhabitants of this magical world might be able to follow them.
I know.
Which would be a second season of them trying to. Did you ever see Babe Pig in the City?
Oh no, I did not. I did.
Nor
not.
did I. But I didn't see it either. However, I assume that's what happened. Is that the pig didn't know how to deal with the city? I don't know if that's real.
that seems right though. It feels right.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna go with that.
Let's put a pig in the city. Yeah.
What could happen? It's against ordinance. That pig got put down. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Like I said.
I think the greatest thing is that we both decided to reference a movie we haven't seen. Anyway, that's the whole point of Two Boobs, really. But anyway.
Yeah.
But what I didn't anticipate was what they actually did, which was to redo the whole thing, but using like 70s and 80s musicals, maybe late 60s, early 70s. When did Chicago come out? That's got to be 70s, right?
That feels like 70s, at least the movie version.
70s. And Hair was definitely part of that's late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And what other ones were heavily? But I guess it went into a little bit to the 80s too, because you've got like Sweeney Todd.
Yep.
Definite references. Maybe Annie.
Yeah, there's definitely more of a smear.
Yeah.
Of things. Yeah, Annie's definitely in there.
Yeah.
The one with the C word. Oh, Cabaret.
Okay. Sorry, children. Anyway.
But
yeah.
Me a minute.
Yeah. No. Cabaret is definitely one of the big influences, and it's darker. It's sexier. It's just like how musicals evolved during that time from being the folksy kind of into a more violent and they added an amazing narrator.
I just want to point out that cats is a 4-letter word. But
That's
not
true.
the C word we were thinking of.
That is not the C word we were thinking of. The C word we were thinking of is cabaret.
Yeah, that not only does all of that change, but like the visual style changes too, right? Like they very deliberately and consciously film.
Oh yeah.
The Schmigadoon stuff, the Brigadoon farce on a soundstage like they would have in the 50s. And it's like they don't try to hide it, right? Especially in HD, you can't hide it.
No.
But there's like this wonderful like Music Man number that they do at one point where it's like one enormous tracking shot, and I'm trying to remember like someone being amazed at like people being able to do stuff in one take on television, and it's like, hey, if that surprises you, imagine an entire cast doing this 8 nights a week or 8 times a week for months on end. And you have musical theater, y'all. Just pointing that out there. But in this case, on this show, they did make it back to the real world. We forgot to mention that part, I think. They got married. They're trying to have a kid. It ain't working. One day they look at each other and they go, "You wanna?" And they just go, "Yes." And it's like, what do they mean? They're going to try and find Schmigadoon again.
Yep.
But they can't, because you can never go back to Schmigadoon, as one might have been able to guess.
My favorite part was that she's at the supermarket or whatever, and there's like a can of corn, and she goes, "Did someone say corn pudding?" And it's like, no one said that. It's like, because they realized that was where they felt most alive when they were in that thing. So they go to a new Schmigadoon. New is, it's the same actors in similar roles, but not quite.
Yes.
And they've called the second season Schmicago, which is, the first time I heard it, I'm like, really? But it grew on me. It grew on me.
Because like both setting, the first song you hear, like in any musical, like sets the stage, literally.
Yep.
And figuratively.
Yes.
And especially in the case of Chicago, like if you see traditional theater, I guess the more recent example people might have seen is Hamilton, right? Where they they go through the whole plot of the show in like 5 minutes, right? That happens here, although nobody did Fry, unless you count the guy in the background when Josh was in jail. But that's the only thing that didn't happen. But like even like the girl that gets offed in the beginning, she like throws up a little red flag during the number, and I'm like, oh, because I had to watch it 2 times to catch everything like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's so many little things in there. There's so many things that, like, you don't have to know anything about musical theater to enjoy this. You really don't. But if you do know the musicals that they're doing, there's another level. It's like you don't have to be a classic gamer to enjoy the Super Mario Brothers movie. But if you know a lot of the history, you're going to get little things that other people aren't. And
They even call out, like, Josh and Mel even call out that it's like, oh, it's the mayor. It's like, no, that's not. He's clearly playing a different part. Like they're talking about that in the dialogue in the show, and then like Josh has this whole thing where he can't recognize Betsy. Etc. But
exactly.
You were going to say, I think, that they introduced the narrator played by Titus Burgess.
Oh my goodness, he's so good.
So good.
So good.
I've only seen him in
Kimmy Schmidt, right?
Kimmy Schmidt.
Well, he was also the crab from Moana. Sings Shiny.
No.
No? Am I wrong?
No.
Oh no, I might be
wrong. That was the guy from Flight of the Conchords. That was Jermaine Clement.
Really?
Yeah.
What am I thinking? Yeah, you're right. What? Huh. You learn something new every day.
But still amazing. Still a great number.
Oh yeah. Yeah, really good number.
That's another show that we need to do for the yes.
I got my crabs mixed up.
Yes.
He was
the other crab.
He did Sebastian for Broadway productions of Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Got my crab.
That's where I thought you were going with that, but then you mentioned Moana, and I was like,
no. Got my crabs mixed up.
Yep. It's okay if you're feeling a little crappy. It's
But anyway, but yeah, just a wonderful addition to the cast. Just wonderful. And of course, we've got another Kimmy Schmidt alumni.
Yes.
Who had a much bigger part.
Yes.
This time. Like, I mean, it was a memorable cameo in the first season. Hold on. Now I got to look up names again.
Her name's Jane Krakowski.
That's it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, of 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt, and like cameos in everything else. Like she's been in a lot of stuff, and she's perfect. And if you read the making of stuff, she did all her own stunts.
Yes,
which is
yes.
amazing.
Like they basically asked her, "What can you do?" It's like, "Well, I could do this," and they have her come
Yep.
down on like the trapeze thing. It's like, "I
Yep.
could do a little twirl. I'll do the twirl." It's like,
I mean, in the first season, she had a memorable cameo where she played basically a character like what she was called, like the Duchess or something. She was basically like from Sound of Music.
yeah.
That girl. And she's like, well, of course I'm a Nazi. Just like, just it was a what, but like, yeah, I mean, there's some amazing cameos in this. Of course, we've got Martin Short coming back to be the Leprechaun again for he was in the first series for a minute, but credited in every episode.
And
then
you
in
know
the
what I
second
caught?
season, yeah.
I never understood how big he was supposed to be, because there was like this very extreme, like, down angle shot on the bridge in the first season.
Yep.
They actually drive into Chicago, right? They're in the forest. They've given up trying to find Schmigadoon, and so they're leaving, and they cross a foggy bridge, and then they're in Chicago. And when they try and leave after the opening number, they're like, "Nope, this is not what I wanted." And like even Mel's like, I'm in like the happy ending musical kind of gal. These don't have happy endings. I do not want to be here. So they try to leave, and they open the hood to look under it, and the Leprechaun pops up. He's actually like holding like some cutters and like bits of wire from the car.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, he's little. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, Martin Short. Yeah. Martin Short, of course, is brilliant in Only Murders in the Building as well. And I'm sure these cameos didn't take that long for him to do, although he did get in the full costume. So
Yes.
but I really enjoyed season 1, and so when I first started season 2, I was thinking, oh, they're just gonna do it again. Like I didn't know if I liked the premise necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
well, you did the characters, so they kind of brought us along, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like, the music was better, and that's I think the music was better, and the choreography and numbers were bigger. I'm not sure if necessarily the plot was better. I mean, because one of the issues that I think we need to talk about is the supporting cast was so good that the main cast didn't seem as necessary, and sometimes disappeared for an extended amount of time.
Yeah, that the first time that happened was between what's the name of Dove Cameron's new character?
Oh my goodness. Let me look.
Yep. Whoopsies.
I know, right?
They were so good that I remember their name instantly.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that it's Dove Cameron because my kids used to watch her on that what's that show she was on? The Descendants. Okay, Jenny Banks.
Jenny Banks. Okay.
So
she
definitely Liza Minnelli inspired. Yeah.
Yeah. She's got like the black wig as opposed to the blonde wig that she was wearing before.
Yep.
Although she gets a Betsy laugh in there once or twice. Near the middle, but it's like it's between her and like the leader of the hippie cult have a number together, and it's like, wait, none of the main characters are here. Why are we even seeing this? It's a good number, and it's
a great number. Yeah,
they reprise it later in the show with the main characters who weren't there for the first one. But the way Schmigadoon works is like if you're compelled to sing, you suddenly know what to do.
Yes.
So that's fine. But
it was and one of my other favorite numbers didn't have either of the leads in it at all, and that is the orphan number. Can we talk about that?
Yes, we can. We should. Oh
Because
my.
I was both I was laughing so hard, but also appalled that they were even able to do this. I have to look up the name of the number because I think it's worth saying.
Sure. So it's between Alan Cumming and Kristen Chenoweth.
Yes, who are
Alan
amazing.
Cumming
Yep.
plays a butcher who's also Jenny's dad, who was framed for the murder of his wife, her mother.
Okay, the song is "Good Enough to Eat."
Enough to eat.
Great.
Yeah. So Kristen Chenoweth
Yeah.
plays the Miss Hannigan of that
Yep.
scene. They're all Cockney for no reason because they're orphans, right?
No reason.
Just
course.
in the
They've
middle
gotta
of
be
Chicago, and they're all Cockney.
Of course they are. It's because there's also because I think that's the Oliver. Oliver is the bit that they're
Oliver.
referencing there.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Yes.
But anyway, you've got your Sweeney Todd-ish there, and through the early episodes, the butcher's always complaining that he doesn't have any meat,
right.
and
She's complaining that she has too many orphans, and they finally put it together once Mel and Josh are told they aren't being helpful. So it's like, oh, we have people in Schmigadoon, we'll help them here, and it doesn't go quite the same way this time. So they help.
Oh my goodness! But I mean, the most disturbing thing was how much the orphans were just like into this number.
Right.
It's just
they were so excited to be fed well finally.
oh my goodness! it's just, oh my goodness! Yeah. But like it's a good song. Mm-hmm. There are really good songs in this. I'd say my favorite one is probably "Talk to Daddy."
Yes,
that was such a good song,
and that one was led by our main characters, right? Like the first season, right. Josh like would not sing. He's a changed man now. So he gets some numbers, but he and Mel get this one together.
Yeah.
And it's exquisite. It's so good.
So good.
But yeah, I feel like in order to talk about the things I want to talk about, we got to go into spoiler territory.
I think so.
Because we got to talk about the last episode.
Okay.
So should we throw up a spoiler warning? I don't have one.
Spoilers are happening.
Perfect. I have one very much like that for the audio version of this, but not.
Okay, good.
Yes. All right. So they set up the scene, right? Like Josh and Mel are not having a great go of it. They don't know what they need to do. They think they have to give everyone a happy ending in a music where happy endings don't happen. Yep. Kratz, the guy who owns all of Chicago, basically is after Mel to get Josh out of the way and marry her.
Yep.
These orphans are going to get eaten.
Yep.
Like, what's going to happen?
The hippies have no leader anymore, so they don't know what to do.
Right.
Yep.
It's all going to go to crap, and then it works out fine.
Yep.
And I'm so angry.
You're so angry?
All right. I never felt there were like two plots to this, right? They have this whole thing like Josh was framed for murder.
Sure.
They hire Bobby, who's Jane Krakowski's character.
Sure.
They get him off, and if you think that I'm being cute, the show is cuter than that.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby's there to get everyone. Help us, Bobby. Please. Anyway, great number. So they get Josh acquitted of the murder.
Yeah.
But they figure out that Krat must have been the one who actually did it, right?
And that was fairly early in the thing too, like episode 3 maybe of the 6. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we thought it was over, but they realized that they can't leave still, and they have to help everybody. Okay, so in the interim, like Mel gets sort of seduced by the Chicago lifestyle and kind of takes Jenny's place. Josh becomes the new leader of the hippies. Once Jenny and
Yep.
the hippie guy, whose name I also can't remember, he played like the boatsman from the first
Yep.
season, a
Yep,
character
the
that was
carny.
so forgettable. I forgot he existed until I watched that season again.
I know. I thought it was a new character being introduced. So that's
Nope,
kind of sad.
same actor. Yeah, I know, but they replaced him with the Doctor very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good things to say about the first season of Schmigadoon. I feel like I should go back to that after we talk about this.
Sure,
In,
sure.
in contrast, but so what it was trying to set up, it seemed like, was the two of them being seduced by this and wanting to stay, but I never got the impression that they were truly ever considering that. Like they kept like checking up with each other, and they were like they're a very strong couple on this. There was no danger, and so it didn't hit for me because they knew the rules of the place and they weren't gonna be swayed by it. So when you get to the final number, it's like, you could stay, you could leave all your dreams. It's like, nah, we're good. It's like, yeah, I know you're good. I watched you be fine the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'm mad.
I mean, there seemed to be a lot. I mean, there was possibly the danger that someone could get murdered or
Right.
forced to be married in the season, but like it didn't seem to have the weight that the first season did because in the first one like, is this couple gonna make it? And in this one, it's like they seem pretty solid. It's like,
yeah, what is their problem they're trying to solve exactly? Like, they want a baby, but beyond that, they seem like they're kind of in their professional lives too. But beyond that, like, what's the problem they're trying to solve?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think that's what I get at. Like, Schmigadoon, let's just call it Schmicago instead of is just a wonderful setup. The musical numbers are fantastic. The supporting characters really get to shine. It's hilarious, but it doesn't feel like it feels like it's outgrown its original premise. Because like the main characters have more singing, they have more, but they've already had their like character moments.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they've already grown as characters to embrace the world, and there's not much left for them to do except kind of play by the rules of the world and try to figure out their way through the next one. And if they do make a third season and they go into 90s and the 2000s musicals, hopefully they have something a little more interesting to do.
Yeah, I mean, Avenue Q already exists.
Exactly.
So you gotta be better than that. And I'm hoping now. Yeah, how do you do better than that? I'm hoping now that our original prediction of people following them into the real world is what actually happens, because I feel like the only place it could go.
I think that'd be really interesting. But now, which version of them would follow them into the real world?
Right.
Would it be the Chicago people or the? So like, I don't know. Although I am kind of interested to see what there's definitely hints that if they do a third season, it's going the way of late 80s, early 90s type musicals. Did you catch the reference right at the end?
Apparently not.
Okay, how's our big bad killed?
He's smashed by a chandelier.
Like the end of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I've never seen it. I know Lindsay Ellis is all about it, but I've never seen it.
So I think season 3 is going to be called Schmantom of the Opera. What else could it be? It could be maybe they're gonna do the rock opera. Maybe it'll be Schment.
Yup. Yeah,
What
Schmamilton's too far in the future.
Schmamilton. I like Schmamilton though. Into the schmudge.
See now we're starting to get into Kristen Chenoweth's actual career here. We got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly. Schmicked. Oh.
Yep. Yeah. So I didn't know what to expect. I did not expect it would wrap up after they advertise and like broadcast that happy endings don't happen here. They got one. And like by contrast, the first season, I guess it was really obvious what was going to happen, but that's also kind of like the style of those musicals. Like these are the setups. Like, Mary Menlove was obviously gay, and if you didn't get it the first 3 times you saw him, they went into his house and there are these really weird statues. And then Florence has this number about that man of mine. And I'm like, oh, honey. Well, is Mel. She's like, oh, honey. And when I was worried they were going to underutilize Kristen Chenoweth, she has the Music Man number with Tribulation. And it's so good. But everything was like set up, teed up, and the like really obvious, easy stuff doesn't happen, played for last. But then they have like a serious threat to their relationships, or at least Josh does, because it wasn't really Mel who had that problem. She just wants to get out, but Josh is like, he's open, as it turns out, to having a different relationship, which doesn't happen in season 2, and it probably can't. It would all be a rehash, right? Like if they were, I feel like they needed to. That it feels like part of the problem was they weren't happy with their lives and their jobs, not with each other necessarily, but just their lives, and like the fame should have tried to suck them in, but it didn't even affect them at all.
I mean, I guess. I mean, they were really trying to show that with what was that the number in, it was either 5th or 6th episode, Famous as Hell.
Oh yeah. Hey,
and like
Josh,
I mean, they were.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. But like,
hey Mel, you're looking swell.
I gotta say that like I think I really need to rewatch it, because I think I was so taken in by the music that it allowed me to ignore a lot of the problems with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It was my second watch through. Actually, I only watched the last episode once. I watched all of the first season and then all 5 episodes of the second season that had been out at that point. Because I wanted to do a compare and contrast, and I just got real. I was like, oh, this last episode is going to be great because of how well the first season went. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm feeling it still. I haven't watched it again, full disclosure. I may have to go back and watch it again. But it feels like it was too easy, and it wasn't as thematically fulfilling as the first one.
Well, I think one of the things that it was is the second series should not have been 6 episodes, because they set up too many things. Like the first season, you've got the issue with the doctor, of course. You've got the infidelities on both sides. You've got the Music Man reference with with the school teacher or whatever. But in general, there was not so many threads. So 6 episodes they were able to but like the ambition of Schmigadoon is so much bigger. There's so much. There's more musicals referenced. They're trying to incorporate so many different worlds. They've got the world of Chicago. They've got the world of hair, with the hippies and everything. They've got, they've got the cabaret setting. They've got all this stuff, and everyone's so great. It looks like everyone's having so much fun.
I know, right?
But like, I think with only 6 episodes to do it, and so much more music.
Yes. Yeah, there were twice as many numbers, I think, is what they said.
But I think one of the things you have to realize is, because of all the wonderful talent and all the wonderful music, we lost a lot of good dialogue. Because part of what made Schmigadoon so good was the two main characters discussing what was going on, coming to grips with the thing. But now in Chicago, you have a narrator who tells you everything that's going on.
Yes, which is pretty. It's played so well because he's
Oh,
like
it's
in
so
the
good.
scene.
Yeah.
He's manipulating the characters, which
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
happen in an actual show. And it's like, aren't you missing it? It's like, am I?
Well, that's the thing. I actually
Come on,
thought
me,
that
man. I'm on break.
I thought that would go somewhere though. Like,
Oh, sure.
wouldn't it have been cool if the narrator was the one manipulating Chicago all the time, or
Oh,
whatever, and
right.
and at the end they find out that they,
Yep.
yeah, that I was because he softens as it goes on, but in the beginning he's kind of a jerk to everybody, so. But I don't know.
Now that you put that in my head, you're right. That would have been perfect because Krat was
Wouldn't that have been
too
great?
obvious
Yep.
of a bad guy to be the bad guy.
Yeah, so I'm like, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it never did. Just the chandelier.
Well, chandelier shoes were all the rage, and I don't know what I'm saying.
But anyway, but you know what? I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it continues a slight downward momentum, I would still be totally up for a series 3.
Yeah, and it's not like I wouldn't watch the second season again because I did already, and I would again. It just doesn't. It feels like they missed something, and I don't know why it happened. Because it's all the same creatives, but yeah. It's good.
I think part of it also was that they had such a talented cast and they wanted to utilize them so much that they really gave numbers that would be good for them, even if it didn't necessarily narratively work. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you were saying, you've got your one with Betsy and Guy. They're having their song, and it's a great song, but it doesn't move the story forward. I mean, the main story.
Right. Like how did that relate to Josh and Mel's plight? And apart from them, doing the reprise at the end, they sang it, but it wasn't their song, right? It didn't connect to me at all.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I liked it. And of course, kind of, I mean, like, so you have, now, if you look at the last song from the first season, that's How We Change.
Yes.
And that makes total sense to be good. But like the song that ended with this one, A Happy Beginning.
Yeah.
Is a great song, but again, it doesn't. It feels like the song is too grandiose for what actually happened.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It felt unearned.
Because I don't think there was enough change in the characters that they are really getting a new beginning.
Right.
It seems to be a continuation of the previous beginning.
Right. Like it's obvious in retrospect how that piece relates to what happens afterward.
Sure.
Because they were so fixated on their lack of happy ending.
Exactly.
Because life continued on, and it's like, why? It's like all these legacy sequels peppering the landscape these days, like Willow or Star Trek Picard or what have you. It's like, why are we telling this story when things should have ended up okay? But we had this like 2 years later instead of 20.
Any
Disney
sequel. Any Disney sequel.
Right. So I can't imagine what a third one would be like. Do they have a kid and like bring it? Is it about the kid instead? Like what? What's season 3? Are they going to leave their child behind?
I mean, it would be strange. It would be strange if they went into. It would be strange if they went into it because their life turned out to be bad again, and they can only be happy in musicals.
Right.
I think it would have to be that they've actually worked out their life and that things are happy. But it turns out that the world of Schmigadoon needs them more than they need Schmigadoon.
Yes. So they have to come to them. That would make sense. I would love to see them just like pop up in the store. It's like, did someone say corn pudding? And then like, it actually happens. It's like, wait, what's going on? And like, they're like, what, they come to each other and it's like, what's happening? It would be great.
Yeah. or they get to Schmigadoon against their will. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Yes.
like they decide to go on a camping trip to remember or whatever, and it goes horribly wrong, and they get pulled in again. Blah 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 blah.
Yes.
But the thing is, they'll need to introduce another character with a problem, though.
Yes.
Because
So it could be
yeah.
their kid, or it could be
Sure,
someone else.
they could do a time lapse later or something like that, or but yeah, but you know what, I hope it gets made. But now with the writer's strike, you see,
There was a lot of writing. Let's just say.
I would say that, like, considering it's on Apple TV and Apple TV gave it a second season, and it doesn't look like it's an intensely expensive show to make. I'm sure it's a little bit expensive, but compared to their things like Foundation and stuff like that,
Right.
it's definitely a lower key. I would say there was a good chance that it would get renewed. But now, with the writer's strike, I remember last time how many shows that only the really really top things ever came back. For a lot of things, it was just so much shutdown time that they just decided to start with new things or reality programming.
Yeah, and that seems to be part of what happened with Willow, unless
Yep.
it was someone saying it was just the showrunner being in denial. But like there was like a work stoppage that
Yep.
he put it on Willow,
Yep.
but then it's like now it's just gone.
Yep.
And with the switchovers and like pulling things because they don't want to pay the residuals, even if
Yep.
they come to an agreement, like they're setting the stage where there will be fewer residuals they have to pay because they're pulling streaming
That's right. That's right.
programming now. So that stinks, especially in the cases of things that don't have physical media at all, and you can't watch them again. I really enjoyed Willow. If I can't see more, I at least like to see the season that we got because I really liked it. But I don't think that's possible. It might be canned completely. It might just be gone into the memory hole at this point.
Yep. I don't know. I support. Let me point out. I support the writers. I do. And they're asking for very reasonable demands.
Yep.
But we're already having trouble with scripted television. We're at there's already issues, and like this strike might just lead to more and more reality television.
There's
Unfortunately, yeah. No, go ahead.
There's a lot to say here because there's been this slow erosion over decades, really, of like writers' rooms
Yep.
shrinking,
Yep.
and episode, like, you still need 22 episodes to like not be a staff writer anymore.
Yep.
Even though in the age of streaming it's like 10 episodes or
Exactly.
8 or 6, and so
Yep.
you still have to like work on a show for 5 years instead of 1 year.
Well-
So that's happening, and the residuals are another thing. But also, like, they just don't want writers. There's all this creative executive meddling in the creative
Yep.
process that's
Yep.
not going anywhere. So the shows that do get made are already the cream of the crop. So what do you do when
Exactly.
the whole industry is averse to writers?
Well, I heard that they're like basically getting writers to basically write a whole season
Right.
before it's even because it used to be what was it? You get a pilot made, and then you see how that goes, and then if that goes, you green light some episodes, maybe half a season, and then you go with the rest. But right now, because writing is so cheap, which is sad,
Right.
they'll just get people to write a whole season, and then they'll buy it or not buy it. It's just like
Right. That's awful. Yeah. You don't even get paid hardly at all that way.
Yeah.
So imagine having to work on like 5 shows and maybe one of them will work, but you've done the work of 5 shows.
Yeah.
It's just. Then there's other interesting things happening, like Tawny Newsome, who's Beckett Mariner on Star Trek Lower Decks, is now a writer on the new Star Trek Academy show that's going to be starting up.
Okay.
And,
Will it?
And so,
will anything be starting up again?
well, before the strike
Yeah.
happened, because she's
Yeah.
definitely out in the picket
Yeah.
lines right now.
Oh yeah.
But not only is it interesting, like one of the first instances of like an actual like main character on a show being a full-time writer versus like what's his name, Chekhov,
Yeah.
Walter Koenig, he wrote an episode of the animated series, but he wasn't like a staff writer, But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is different. So like I'm looking forward to that because it seems like
Yep.
there's not enough. One of their demands basically is that
Yeah.
the writers like be able to be on set and like can actually help shape the way
Sure.
the season goes. But anyway,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
we'll
what
have
happens.
more to say about this as we watch other TV shows that got finished
Yes.
before the strike.
Yep.
Okay.
As long as they don't disappear before we get a chance to finish them.
Yeah, as long as they don't
Like,
cancel them even after they're done.
Like, I'm not going to watch... I can't watch Willow now. I never watched Willow, and now I can't.
Well, you can't on a paid streaming service. Excuse me, something's in my throat. Oh,
Yes. Yes.
all right.
That is correct.
All right. So thanks for joining us. We're going to do another podcast.
Yeah. Hope your cough's better by then.
Yeah, I hope so too. Who knows what's
All
going to
right.
happen?
All right. So let's switch over then, yeah?
All right.
Let's get this going.
Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of Two Boobs Watch the Tube. If you would like to support these boobs, please subscribe. Like us on iTunes and tell a friend. If you want to give us a big push up, donate to the Famicom Dojo Patreon found in the show notes. There you can also find info about sponsoring an episode and also info about the other great shows, and one bad one, on the Nerd and Tie Network. Until next time, keep it classy.
I'm always too slow to end this thing. Here we go.
Yep.